graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
This is what happens, Larry. You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you fuck a stranger in the air? This is what happens. You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens, Larry? Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
Semen is a demon, let it out, let it out. What? Semen is a demon, let it out, let it out. What? Semen is a demon, get it out, get it out. What? Semen is a demon, suck it out, suck it out. What?
You, friends, fun, drink. Hot girls, you're hot. Drink more. Expensive cars, ass, drink, ass, money. You in a tuxedo, threesome, vodka, pussy. Drink, drink, drink. You, drink, Vegas, fun, pussy. You in a tuxedo, this girl, vodka, drink, 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 drink it all, you pussy. More tuxedos, more cars, more pussy, more vodka, drink, drink, drink. Please drink responsibly.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, guy who makes all those unlistenable podcasts over at smodcast.com, and you're listening to the Two Strangers, One Podcast. This is podcasting.
You're listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes or on the Stitcher app for Android devices. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net. Now, here's Chris Blow and Paul Pasquillo.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Paul, and we finally got that right. Welcome to us live.
Yeah, technical problems because apparently Paul played the intro to this show, but I can't hear it on my end, so I'm totally just fucking lost in the woods over here. We're just like, okay, Paul's like, talk now.
See, Chris is what we call a 40-year-old man that doesn't know technology, so...
I know. I've been doing this podcast for 6 years. God damn it! I know technology. Part of my job is right now is working on technology and stuff like that. You know.
I just gotta write at you. I just gotta be an ass. Come on now.
Okay, gotcha. And over here, I want to share the podcast, so now I hear myself in an echo. So I'm gonna probably.
Well, I think. Yeah. Well, no, you can mute it. You should be able to mute it. You just don't hit the sound thing in the corner there. So, I know you want to hear yourself because you love yourself, but you know.
Yeah. And this is going to sound like a joke to the audience out there, but right before this podcast, I told Paul, I was like, "Give me a minute, I have to go take a shit." And so I go and I go to take a shit, and it's one of those ones that like where you wipe and you don't see anything under toilet paper.
Oh God, that's not.
No,
that's actually talking about shitting. What the hell?
That's actually one of the healthiest shits you can take. Oh, when you wipe and you don't see anything under toilet paper, because like the shit comes out like a nice long nugget.
Do you see what's happening when we go live, folks? This is
a nice long round banana.
Oh,
But that's a good thing. That means I'm eating well. I may be unemployed, and I may be, according to my coworker.
Unemployed? Come on.
Well, you're right. Yeah, exactly. I am not unemployed, but it feels like I'm unemployed because I don't leave my house. So I'm slowly going mad. I'm having cabin fever because it's too fucking cold to go outside. Don't get me wrong.
Wait. I've seen you outside. I've seen you cleaning my theater.
Oh, that's right. You said. You said there's a guy, and the whole thing is like when you're a fat guy and you're bald, and sometimes the beard. I get that a lot. I don't know if I have one of those faces where I always have people go like, oh, like I've had people come up to me like in public and like, hey John, hey Steve, hey Mike, and I'm like, and then they look at me for a second like, oh, I thought you were my cousin, I thought you were my friend's friend. So I don't know if I have one of those faces, or all of us fat guys look alike, or all of us bald guys look alike, or all of us bearded guys look alike.
Let's just say like it's.
You said there's a guy in your job.
He looks exactly like you without a beard and a goatee.
Okay, so he has the goatee, which I for years I've rocked the goatee. I mean, it's only recently that I've grown the beard, and like I have a cousin who's 6 months older than me, and he's my father's brothers, and all the men on my father's side of the family, we all look alike. I look like my dad, he looks like his brother, I look like my uncle. So I have a cousin. The funny thing, the one person that doesn't look like me is like my older brother, but he looks like my mom. So, and so I have a cousin that's 6 months older than me who could, for all intents and purposes, be my twin brother. Now, mind you, that being said, he has a full head of fucking beautiful auburn hair that he got. My grandfather had, reddish auburn hair, and now, mind you, my cousin, and I love him, so I can say this son of a bitch. he shaves his head.
I love how you say. I love how you say. You're like, I love him, son of a bitch.
I'm gonna call him a son of a bitch, but I understand when I say that. I say that with all love. He shaves his head to look cool. He's one of those fucking guys that shaves his head to look cool. I shave my head because you don't
have any hair. I got you.
I have that pathetic skullet look going on, where it's all, and so I shave my head to kind of redeem the rest of my head. He shaves his head to look fucking cool,
the rest of your head.
That's the whole thing. Is not only does he have a full head of hair, but it's not even gray. I'm gray all over the place, and then I kind of got a backhanded compliment. And we advertise him on the podcast every week. Court from the Cinema Psyops podcast. He had posted a thing. He had posted what had turned out to be a posting of a bunch of people just posting their faces, like just sitting pissed off at work or whatever. And so I posted a picture, with my beard with all the gray in it, and he's like, and it was sort of like a backhanded compliment. He's like, I hope that when my beard starts going gray, it goes gray the same way yours is, like the same way yours. Like he said, I think he said it peppers in the way you. I'm like, man, fuck you, man.
Hey, dude, I get all the time for my goatee. They're like, because there's starting to be white hairs there. Everybody's like, oh, so getting a little old there. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Oh, by the way, this is an explicit podcast. I didn't know if we said that or not.
Oh yeah. Because the intro that I gave you was not. It's sort of like a partial intro because I didn't have a chance to edit the full one before we started recording, but it does say due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised. So welcome to all new listeners. We're talking about shitting and beards. That's exactly the kind of stuff we get into.
I guess
here on One Podcast. Welcome to all the new listeners, and welcome back to all our current listeners. Where to begin?
Let's see. I didn't have to kill my son's teachers today, which is good.
Okay, yeah, and then plus, I think, right when you drive to your because he doesn't live near you, right? You have to
I have to drive an hour to Geneva.
Yeah, you have to go on the turnpike.
I have to go on 90, yeah.
When you have to get on a major highway to go visit someone, then there's a fucking problem.
What's really nice is when you get off at Geneva, it's very easy to get to my son's house, and it's also very easy to get to his school. So it's not like I'm lost or anything. I know my way now, but dude, it's just it's so different when you're going into the country. You feel like you need to have a banjo with you ready. I'm just oh God, what am I doing out here?
Well, dude, just driving to your house, because remember, a while back we had, I think it was one of the first times we recorded at your house. Yeah. I think it was the first time I ever went to your house.
Yes.
We got behind that guy with the Trump stickers and the Trump shit all over his car.
Yeah.
And then recently there was that guy that got arrested. And he had all the Trump shit around his car.
That would be funny if he was traveling through Rochester. That would be kind of funny.
Yeah, as soon as that guy was arrested and they had the pictures of all the Trump shit, I was like, oh my God, me and Paul were behind a guy that was just like that, right by his house too. But I remember when we went, you were giving me a ride. I think you were actually giving me a ride to go look for to buy a car or to go to a car dealership. And you were like, oh, this is close to where my son lives. We were passing by the fucking casino, right?
We did pass by this casino, I think.
Yeah, because it's the
Finger Lakes is where we crossed by.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
was
no,
it
we did. You're right. We're right. We did go past Del Lago, I think.
And it's funny because the Del Lago out here, it's not. It's trying to be trendy, but it's also in a place. So it really caters to fucking old people. It really does. But on occasion, it'll be Puddle of Mud is playing there.
It's supposed to be the big casino, and it's not being the big casino basically. So
yeah, because that was the one that remember years ago, and it might have been we talked about it on this podcast where before they built it, they had all these people saying where the people they were pretending the people from the casino were pretending to be people against the other casinos. or they were, or there's some.
They were trying to basically.
They were paying off people to.
Basically, what was going on is so Finger Lakes has always been the big one around here, and
yeah.
Finger Lakes sent a bunch of people out basically saying, and it rightfully so. I mean, they really shouldn't be putting another casino in when there's basically one right around the corner. But they did it anyways. It kind of backfired on them because it's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. So it's kind of like, it's a good thing that it never got built here in Rochester. Let's put it that way.
Well, no, that's the whole thing, is that if you put one, because
the police are here for Chris.
Oh my God, dude! Talking about, I mean, once again, I never leave since I've been working at my other job. I mean, other than like going to food shopping, and I'm picking up my daughter and stuff like that. I haven't really left the house. And I get up this morning, and I'm like, all right, let me go throw out my garbage before the garbage truck comes. And now mind you, okay, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. There's like an inch of snow on the ground. I'm in my pajamas, a t-shirt, but I put on sneakers because it was snow outside. But no jacket, with garbage bags, going out to put the garbage out. And like, there's this girl just walking down the street, and I'm 99% sure I've dealt with this girl before. But she looks at me, and actually she's kind of like a boyish looking girl, whatever. But that's not pertinent to the story. But she walks by me. Yeah. Then she stops. She turns around, and she looks at me, and she goes, "Excuse me, sir, do you have $1 I could borrow or whatever?" And I'm like, oh, like I step out of my house for 2 fucking seconds, and I already have a fucking disgusting interaction with someone. Like you're the reason I sit in house. I hate that shit because I've dealt with that shit. I go a block or two down. Like, I don't go to the corner store all the time, but like you go to the corner store to pick up some stuff or whatever, and like it's not really my cup of tea. But sometimes you want a snack or something, and you don't have it in the house. And I've had that where I've had these kids, and I don't know if it's because like I'm an older guy or because I the fucking since I'm the only fucking white guy they see, but like I always have like kids like probably like from like 12 to about 16 always seem to be asking me for money. And it's not like they're broke, and it's not like, but it's like there's these kids that are sort of oddly emboldened to ask fucking strangers for money.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not
like, oh, are you for real right now? Are you really like asking me for money?
Yeah. Really? And it's like,
dude, they do that shit.
That white guilt or something.
So what they like, I've had, and I think I've told this story a couple times, but I've actually had like people, and it's been a long time since this has ever happened at the gas station, but I've actually had people like try to stand there as people are pulling up to get gas and try to get people to give them money. It doesn't work for very long because I'll end up calling the police on them because they end up trying to ask every fucking person. Mm-hmm. But it's really like fucking, it's, I don't know. I think that people think that they have a lot of balls, and they don't really, because they just don't understand, like, people are not that stupid. People are only giving you money so you don't stab them.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. And by the way, I'm not talking about a black person either. There was a lot of white guys that do this shit too. Mostly more like older white guys with beards, not you. But like in their 50s and shit.
We don't look alike, people.
So it's just the weirdest thing, and I'm just sitting there going, why are you even trying this right now? Like, this is not going to get you anywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know.
I remember years and years ago when I still worked in corrections and I was still married. Me and my wife, we lived in Brooklyn, and we had pulled into a gas station, and it didn't click in my head that, one, this was a gas station that guys hung out around. Like, it was one of those places where you knew you got out of the car. And so because this particular gas station was like across the street from like a men's shelter, so I go, and at that particular time when, before my marriage fucking fell apart and I actually cared about this fucking woman, like, I pulled the car in and I went to go into the store to pay for the gas, and I think I wanted to grab like a Red Bull and some snacks or whatever. And so I hear Mr. C. And of course, the inmates from prison, when I was a correction officer, on occasion in New York City, you will run into inmates on the street, or should I say ex-inmates on the street. So, a lot of guys, they don't want to call you officer or Officer Cologne or anything like that. But, a lot of guys called me Mr. C. And to me, that was totally, it wasn't, yeah. What I'm saying, it's not disrespectful if you called me Mr. C, because there's a Mr. in front of it, and I understand you don't want to call me officer or CO or anything like that.
I just think of Lion King when they make fun of
Mufasa.
Yeah, no, they make fun of Pumbaa, and they're like, they call him a pig, and he's like, "What'd you call me?" They call me Mr. Pig, and then he like attacks them. I'm just like, I just think of that, like, Mr. C. Chris is attacking people, basically.
No, so I hear Mr. C, and I fucking turn my head quick, and it's one of the fucking inmates who, used to live on my block, where I worked. I said my block, the unit that I worked, and I'm like, oh shit, and I had my wife in the car, so I locked the fucking doors to the car, and now it's not like I don't think he's gonna harass her or anything like that. And he's like, oh, he's kind of giving me the whole like, hey, you think you can help me out or whatever. And I said, man, and the whole thing is I knew this guy, and I said, look, hold up, I'm gonna run inside real quick because I want to grab some snacks, and I wasn't gonna give this guy like a 20 or anything like that. So I wanted to make some change or whatever. So I locked the car. And I tell, like, before I close, because I see him, and I lock the door, and I kind of lean in, and I tell her, don't go anywhere. Saying, like, don't open it. And then she grew up in the Bronx, so she knows what the fuck's going on. Or, she's not stupid enough to, like, open the car for anybody. So I go in, and once again, I was kind of worried that he approached me, but I don't think he was going to do anything stupid. So I go in, and I buy my snacks, and I tell the guy, whatever, 40 on pump number 1 or whatever. And so then I go back, and the guy's giving me this story and all this shit. So I give him like $2 or $3 or whatever. And so, mind you, I give him the $2 or $3. Like, I go into my pocket to grab the keys to like open the car door, and like literally, like from the moment I gave him the money and I turned back, he was gone. Like, this guy wanted to go out and get high or whatever. So now he's gone. And so like, all right, whatever. I gave him a couple bucks, and then filled up my gas tank or whatever, and I actually had to go back in to get change. So there was another fucking homeless dude that stands out front and does the whole hold the door thing, where they hold the door for you to go into the place.
Yeah.
And he goes, so then, and he's like, oh, what? Nothing for me? Everybody said, oh, no, you gave that guy money. I said, I knew him in a former life. It's. When I worked in corrections, I ran into inmates all the time in the streets in New York.
There's a lot of stupid people, man. It's ridiculous. But getting back to what happened today, like, so these teachers have been, it hasn't been that they haven't been treating my kid well. It's a combination of my kid not wanting to do anything with school and them just not giving him the right services. And I'm just like, guys, I need you to do it. So I get his report card the other day, and he's failing 3 courses. And I'm like, I flipped out. I'm like, listen, I sent an email. I'm like, listen, folks, do not push me here. I will have my father, that's a retired principal, come in here with New York State, and they will tear you up. Do not screw with me. Get this kid what he needs. So, they start saying how, I'm proud of how the one guy in the meeting was like, oh, I'm proud of how he he's gone up from points from last year. And I'm sitting there going, all right, I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, stop the bullshit. Like, you're bullshitting me now. You're starting to make me angry, and I'm about to yell at you. And my kid even said, when he came into the meeting, he's like, my father's gonna yell at you. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna yell at them. I'm going to talk to them. I'm not going to yell at them. I'm going to talk to them. But at that point, they had already told me what I wanted. My kid is, kind of lower on the autism scale. He's also ADHD. So my son is like allergic to homework for some odd reason. He just doesn't want to do it. So they've been able to bring him back down to classrooms that are smaller. So that way, and by the way, by no means is that a bad thing. Some kids actually need smaller classrooms in order to learn because they need help. And they brought him back down to a couple classrooms that are like maybe 5 to 7 kids in them. They have a resource room for him now during his study hall instead of a free period, which he doesn't like, and he probably is pissed at me for. But fuck him, he's gonna do what I tell him to do. And I was just very happy with it. I was just like, listen, guys, I just need to make sure that I'm getting a progress report here. And I also I think I surprised my ex because I kind of brought her into the equation. I said to her, I was like, do you got Wi-Fi at home? And I did this in front of all of them. She's like, well, we have cell phones. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have Wi-Fi. I'm like, see, part of the problem, and I said this to him, I'm like, part of the problem here is she doesn't have Wi-Fi. And I mean, she doesn't make a lot of money, so that's not uncommon. People can't afford things. Come on now. So it's like, I'm like, listen, if you want him to do this online homework, we're going to have to make sure it gets done at school. And I want you guys to understand that. By the way, and she's like, and the one lady's like, yeah, I mean, with the resource room, we could probably get all that done. I'm like, exactly. So that's why I'm happy about that. I'm like, and I said right in front of him too, I'm like, by the way, that's not a knock against you either. You just don't have Wi-Fi. I'm just trying to make sure that they get this homework done because, you can't expect a kid to get homework done when he doesn't have access to Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? And they have like these different places that they put the homework, and I'm just like, Chris, I wanted to stab them. They're like, well, you need this app and this app, and I'm like, dude, guys, just email me the shit. I'm just like, just be simple with me, email it. So I kind of backed off of that, and I was just like, listen, all I want at the end of the week is a progress report. How is he doing? Is he doing good? That's all I need. That's all I really need. And then if there's homework that needs to come home on the weekend, list what it is and where I can find it. Because if you don't tell me where it is, how am I supposed to do it? You know what I mean? So I was very pleased with it. I was very pleased with the results. I was just, my son does not want to do work. I think he was embarrassed that we were there, honestly. But at the end of the day, dude, it's just like, we need to make sure that your education is what it is, or you're not going to be able to do anything. And I try to make because my son loves to draw. I try to make the connection of, if you can't get a high school degree, how am I going to even be able to put you in an art school? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to even be able? You can't even work at McDonald's these days without a fucking high school diploma. Are you kidding me? Like, so it's like, dude, you need to be able to get your high school diploma. I'm not asking you to go to college. I'm asking you to do that, And in this environment, dude, like, I don't even know if I want my kid to go to college. I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but, like, right now, I just want to get him through high school, and then we'll talk about college. Because at this point, I'm starting to think that I might just put him in, like, a trade school or something. You know what I mean? Because at least with a trade school, he goes right into a job. Whereas if I put him in a college, we're just wasting money at this point.
Yeah, it really is. Like, even in my situation, it's sort of funny that, like, right now I'm working for a guy. Now, don't be wrong. The guy that I'm working for, like I said, was a high school friend of mine. And quite frankly, the job I'm doing now, a fucking trained monkey could do the job that I'm doing right now. And he's a little different because, we went to the same school, but he went on to go to college and he almost became a pharmacist and he, but now he does this other job or whatever. And, and now he's my boss. But it's sort of funny that, like, the job I have now is, quite frankly, just because I know this guy. So much of life comes from, like, who you know.
If I can intervene here for a moment, like, I kind of think that's actually a good thing because you got somebody that's going to have your back, that's going to be understanding of your situations, and give you the opportunity to not only make money but to take time off to take care of those situations. That's what I'm saying. That opportunity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying is that, like, in this fucking climate, it's more of, like, fucking who you know. And, more than fucking what you know.
And keep in mind here too, and this is the same argument I have with my father all the time. My father would love for me to go to a big company and make huge amounts of money and be okay. My problem is there's two things. Number one, everything's going to minimum wage. By the time I'm in my 50s and you're in your 60s, it's going to be everywhere's probably going to be paying $15 an hour, and that's going to be the minimum wage. And all these jobs are going to be paying the same thing. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate socialists, but I hate the fact of let's increase their wage substantially. No, let's evaluate each city, see what each city's minimum wage is, and then based on that, make that the minimum wage. Be intelligent about it. It's like how they're doing it here in New York State. I think it's I know Rochester and Syracuse go up to $12.50, and then they evaluate and they see where everything is, and then if they think it needs to go up, they'll raise it any higher. New York City went to 15. I want to say Buffalo might have went to 15 too, but there again, Buffalo's a huge city; it should be at 15. So you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's you can sit here and tell me all you want about we'll go out and get a big job, but guess what? I can live on $15 an hour. Like, yeah. I mean, you used to be able to be a manager and make $10 an hour, and that was a good wage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people just have to keep things in perspective, and I really think, like, especially with my kid, like, I'm going to give him an option. I'm going to say to him, listen, it's either you go to a school that you go to, maybe like an art school or something, see if you like it, and if you don't, we'll just get you a regular job or something, or just, whatever. And it is what it is, man. I just, for me, like, I just want a good future for my son, and I just see how this is trending, the workplace is trending, and I'm just like, I'm going to stay where I'm at. I have a good job. I have really good benefits. I'm going to be making very good money once as this, wage goes up. I can't see why I would leave. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just, it's becoming an interesting world out there, and I just hope my son can get through all of his academics and we can get him a job, and then I'll be fine. Maybe get him laid a couple times. That'll be fine with me. I'll be fine.
Wait, how old is he now?
He's 13 years old.
Oh, well, that's the perfect time.
Shh, don't tell his mother that.
Well, that's. I mean, and I had said that as a joke with it, and I didn't mean part of me was kind of serious, but the other part wasn't. Where like, okay, like my daughter has a half brother who's like 14 now.
Yeah.
And I had made the joke to his mom. I was like, when he turns 13. Now this is when me and the mother were still together. I had said like a joke. I said, when he turns 13, I'm gonna get him a hooker. And she goes, that's fucking disgusting. I said, look, 13-year-old boys, they're already fucking jerking off. Hey, shit. In some places, 13-year-old boys are having sex with 13-year-old girls. That's not a fucking, that's no big surprise.
But I will.
It's one of those deals like, it's sort of like, because I was a late bloomer and I was a fat kid in high school and everything like that. I was always sort of like, I think if you got a 13-year-old boy, if you got him laid, like, he's going to have that confidence. He's not going to care about fucking Sal. Now, of course, now, if you're talking about, that would be fucking pedophilia for the prostitute or whatever, or the statutory rape for the prostitute. But I don't think a prostitute gives a shit about, whatever she's fucking. But, it's like, I mean, I'm not saying for you to do that, but like, if I had a son, like, no. If I had a son that was like my flesh, now, of course, there's an absolute double standard, because if I found out my daughter at 13 is having sex, I'd fucking kill whoever it is. But, I was like, if I had a son, and he was 13, and I knew he was like, he knew enough about sex or whatever, I'd like, yeah, get him a prostitute. Because I want to say it was either the lead singer of Aerosmith or the lead singer of the Rolling Stones. One of them, like, their father took them to go see a prostitute at like 13 or 14. Because just you get it out of your system. You're not all hung up and feeling awkward and inadequate around girls. Like, if you're like it's like, fucking go on, fucking get a fucking and get a fucking a halfway decent hooker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about I'm not saying something like crack whore for fucking like $20.
Oh God.
$200-$300, but it's you're investing in that boy's future. You're investing in his confidence.
Chris Cologne, don't necessarily.
I'm just saying
Oscar's gonna have something to say about this. You realize?
I would have wished that I mean, I wouldn't say my dad, but I wished a male role model figure in my life got me a prostitute at fucking 13 years old.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
So much. I probably wouldn't be a fat fuck. I probably would have been all awkward. I probably wouldn't have got into heavy metal. I'd probably be one of those cool fucking dudes. Because what happened? The cool kids are the ones that had sex in fucking high school, getting laid and all this shit. I would have been. My life would have been so much fucking different, and I got to pay it forward.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not like, I would never do that to my kid. My ex would fucking like literally have my head on a fucking platter. Like, seriously, dude. But I don't think I would ever do that. I think I would more or less just be, I've just told him, like, if you're in the situation where you get a girlfriend and you think that's gonna happen, you need to come to me and you need to be like, Dad, what do I do? And I'm going to be like, I'm going to go buy you condoms because I'm not going to take the chance that you get some girl pregnant. You know what I mean? So, and, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon or anything, but, he's getting up there in the age group, and I kind of have to keep a little bit more of an eye on him, So,
yeah. Don't get anyone pregnant.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. Like me and my dad never had the talk. Like, I don't think we've ever had this talk, and I have a very, very vivid memory of where, we were in my parents' room, because my parents' room that was at that particular time, that was the only room with cable, and me and my dad were watching a movie, and like, well, no, so we're watching a movie, and of course, it's one of those deals where, like, a parent, and now that as a parent, you kind of like when you get like. It gets to a movie that has like a sex scene or something like that, and things get awkward. But like I'm sitting there or whatever, and my dad's sitting there, and I'm like sitting on the floor, and my dad's sitting he had like a desk. We had a desk. He had like a desk in his room, and he just looks at me and he just goes, "Don't get anyone pregnant." And that was like the closest thing me and my dad ever had to having a sex talk. And you know what? For the first 33 years of my life. I had my daughter way late in my life. I was 33.
I had Logan when I was 21 years old, and that was with the first girl that I was with. So I mean, I guess I kind of fucked up a little bit there. At least I was out of high school. I wish I was through college when that happened, honestly, but I wasn't. But hey, I have a kid. I got to make sure my kid is taken care of and that he does everything correctly. And he will eventually, it's just kind of, it sucks at this moment. So hopefully everything will come around and, it'll all be good and I don't have to go scream and yell at people. So.
As soon as I get a raise, Uncle Chris is getting him a prostitute. No.
Oh, God.
That is a joke, people. Do not. That is that.
All right, commercial break.
How was your Thanksgiving, Paul?
I don't know if I want to talk about Thanksgiving with you and pie. My Thanksgiving. We haven't recorded since then. We haven't recorded before then. Oh, that's right. My Thanksgiving was terrible.
Luckily, it was our off.
My Thanksgiving was terrible.
Oh.
Yes.
Why is that?
Hopefully my father won't hear me upstairs, but it was just my father went into the hospital Tuesday of that week, and my father has type 2 diabetes. He has. I don't think the leukemia is active yet, but it's there. And this is like the third or fourth time that he's gone in because of whatever the issue is that he's having. And it basically just destroyed the whole Thanksgiving week. Like, didn't get to have turkey like I usually do or a meal. This is like the first time, dude. Like, I never got to. Well, I take that back. I did go to Boston Market and get stuff because I knew they would be open. But yeah, I mean, it was disappointing because it was like the first time, that I never really had like Thanksgiving, and I was kind of just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I told my mother, I was like, I'm really like, I'm not happy about this at all. Like,
Well, that's like,
and I'm not trying to be selfish or anything, but it's just like, it's like, you know, that's one, like, with everything that's happened this year, like, it's like, that was one thing I was looking forward to, and now that got taken away from me in a sense, and it's just like, it was just really whatever. And I told my mother the next day, I'm like, we're going to get a Christmas tree. That shit's not going to happen, and I don't care what you say. You know, just give me the card. I'll go get it. I don't care. And we ended up going to get a Christmas tree because that's what we usually do that Friday. We'll go get a Christmas tree because Christmas should be celebrated after Thanksgiving, you dumb fucks out there.
Yeah.
I hate people. I absolutely hate people that start celebrating Christmas in like October or even the early part of November. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
When Thanksgiving is over, then do it.
The traditional, the tradition is even if you want to say on Thanksgiving, like, once you see Santa Claus, like, that's the tradition. Santa Claus is always the last float at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Now, technically, yes, it is still technically Thanksgiving, but what is that, about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning? Before that, before 10 or 11 o'clock on Thursday, that Thursday that Thanksgiving is, and I don't know if I mentioned that last episode. I think we talked about it before the episode. I don't know if we're not during. For some reason, I was always under the misconception that Thanksgiving was the last Thursday in November. Turns out it's the fourth Thanksgiving in November. So that fucked me up because I wasn't ready for Thanksgiving. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, we got. I said Thanksgiving's next week, and I'm like, then I look at and I hear all these people. I see people on Facebook, oh, getting ready for Thanksgiving. I'm like, how? It's not the last Thursday of Thanksgiving. That's this thing, So, with that being said, oh shit, I lost my fucking train of thought. Oh yeah, so yeah, once Thanksgiving, until
wake up, Chris. Come on, get some Mountain Dew.
Until Santa Claus. That float goes down. I don't want to hear any fucking Christmas music because radio stations were playing fucking Christmas music because I was taking an Uber somewhere and the guy in the Uber had and it was a radio station with fucking
probably Warm 101.3.
Yeah, and I know there's places where people work where that shit already had started. That it should be against the law. Nothing, no decorations, no shit. There's still. I went by a house recently where they still had the fucking pumpkin up from Thanksgiving, on their porch, whatever. Yeah. So it's like, you have a whole fucking month to get ready for Christmas. And then plus, like, I'm the little part of me that does kind of follow the tradition, to me, Christmas, like, your decorations and everything stay up until January the 6th.
Oh, yeah.
Because for the people that celebrate what they call Little Christmas, or for the Christians they call that the Feast of the Three Kings, where, like, when as the story goes, and once again I'm the most least religious person, but I'm just saying, just from family tradition, the Feast of the Three Kings is when the wise men actually showed up. The baby was born on December 25th, and the wise men showed up on what would have been January the 6th. So once you hit the Feast of the Three Kings, or in my family we called it Little Christmas, then that's when you could put the decoration. I mean, that's when you could take the decorations down.
Right.
I mean, of course, feel free. On December 26th, you want to take your tree down, go right ahead. You want to take your decorations down, go right ahead. But up until January 6th, then you kind of say, okay, time to.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to fucking, like, have it up all year, but you should have it. Once Thanksgiving is done, then you should get your tree or put up your fake tree, whatever, and have all those decorations up till at least the 2nd of January, and then you could take it down. Fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not after January the 6th. That's the new, not until the law is no decorations until after Santa. Until after Santa's float in the Thanksgiving Day parade. That's the beginning until January the 6th. To midnight January the 6th. Let me see. How long have we been on? It's weird because usually
We've been on 40 minutes.
Oh, okay. So I think with that, we'll be back with more dick and fart jokes.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc. 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds?
Necrophilia.
It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore.
I am, in the most sincerest of senses, disappointed in you.
It takes a powerful goddess like Connie, jam her arm down the monster's throat and kill it. Oh, I'm still tripping out over that. Even as a kid, I was like, I gotta find a girl like that. Every week, I get a new look of disappointment that I never thought I could get out of.
Unimaginable. At 12 years old, you should not be watching this movie.
Obviously.
At 13, you should not be. 14, you shouldn't be. I'm not entirely sure even 17-year-olds should be watching this.
Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. Watching this film again, I had all of this like little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history
up.
all popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped from watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was.
How
could
you watch this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
And we're back, Paul. For those listening live, this is where usually we take a break right now, and I'd edit in the commercials. Since we're recording live, we actually have to just work right through it. So in nerdy news, but unfortunately sad nerdy news, last episode we talked about the passing of Stan Lee.
Yes.
And now another creator, Steven Hillenburg, creator of SpongeBob SquarePants. And and of course it's very easy to kind of like say like, oh, to shit on SpongeBob SquarePants, but let's recognize the fucking impact that this show had. Pretty much every major on Nickelodeon, at least all the major shows, and of course, yes, these are the shows that people shit on, the Gumballs and the Steven Universes and the regular shows. All of those people, the showrunners from that show, came from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yep.
And it's easy for us to hate it, but if you're an 8-year-old, if you're a 14-year-old, if you're anyway, there's a generation who grew up with SpongeBob, and you couldn't go to a fucking kid's birthday party that wasn't SpongeBob themed. They put out at least 2 movies, right? Or because there was like the SpongeBob movie, and then there was the other. There was at least 2 SpongeBob movies.
2 SpongeBob live action movies. And when we say live action, it was half cartoon, half,
Yeah, I mean, 2 major motion length pictures, right? Right, motion.
Yeah. You're on the right track. You're on the right track. Don't worry.
Motion length pictures. That picture length.
You know what? Here, I'm gonna get this can of Mountain Dew and I'm gonna send this to you. Because apparently, you need some Mountain Dew.
Length motion feature. See, there we go. Feature length motion pictures. That's the fucking word. I was like,
you're live on Facebook. Come on now.
There was 2 feature length motion pictures with SpongeBob SquarePants. Seasons after seasons of shows, and and then the funny thing was, SpongeBob was one of those shows that sort of like, yeah, it was for kids, but there were fucking college kids watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were stoners in their 20s watching the cartoon.
Well,
so
there were some episodes too that kind of,
for people to say they pushed the agenda.
Right.
Bob and Patrick holding hands and everything like that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, to let kids see that and understand that it's not like the fucking end of the world if 2 guys are holding hands or 2 male characters are holding hands. It pushed a couple of boundaries and stuff like that. But once again, I never hit the SpongeBob SquarePants boat, I took my daughter to go see, I believe it was the second one, the one with like David Hasselhoff and I have a feeling that was the second one. I could be wrong. It's the one where like they turn into superheroes at the end. I took my daughter to see that one, but that's because she wanted to see it. I never was a big fan of the cartoon, and yeah, I do shit on those other shows like Regular Show and Steven Universe and Gumball. But yeah, I mean, the fact that there are people working today because at one point they had worked on that show, and as the younger generation grows up, SpongeBob SquarePants, I guarantee you in 20 years there's going to be a SpongeBob SquarePants revival, and people are going to bring it back. And
probably. And
now,
fuck it up.
Oh yeah, right. And when they said because I had first misheard, I thought it was Tom Kenny that died, the guy that did the voice of SpongeBob, because when I had that story when I went to.
I hope not. Jesus Christ, he does so many voices. He does almost all of them on freaking Futurama.
Yeah, and as my thing is that I was like, and I have that picture when I was part of the Jack and Triumph show. When I'm standing there at Comic-Con without a shirt on, and Tom Kenny came over to say hi to Robert Smigel, the creator of the show, the guy who does Triumph, and Jack McBrayer. He came over to say hi to them. I'm standing there without a shirt, and then I took a picture with Tom Kenny without a shirt on, And so he was such a good sport. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure Steven Hillenburg is a great guy. But when at first I thought it was Tom Kenny, I'm like, oh my god, I was fucking devastated. Only because I have that little personal connection.
He's getting up there, dude. He's getting up there. So
I looked it up because I once again I thought it was him at first. And then when I Googled the age, then I realized, oh shit, it's not Tom Kenny that died, it's Steven Hillenburg. And speaking of, it's funny, I'm kind of glad you said the words live action with animation. They released the Lion King trailer. And, the new, and it's funny because people are going to say the live action Lion King, but this is a completely computer generated movie, with computer generated characters. If I'm not mistaken, I believe even the backgrounds are computer generated. It's just, incredibly beautifully, realistically rendered. Yeah. But none of this is live action. This movie's going to get.
And think about this, like when Mufasa gets killed, because, I mean, folks, this isn't a spoiler. You should have seen Lion King by now.
Yeah, it's been 15 years. You should have seen it.
There's a lot of people out there, there's been, pictures out there of, Mufasa, bloodied up and everything. People, not, from Disney, but, people that were, making fun of the fact that if he dies, there's going to be, blood all over the place and everything. Because it's so realistic. I kind of think that this is maybe what they wanted to do at some point anyways. Somebody pointed out to me that apparently in Walt Disney's will, it says that they have to remake every Disney movie every 10 years. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but if that's the case, I can understand why they're doing all these. And, there's obviously this one. Then you're going to have Aladdin. And then you're going to have, I think it's this one, then Mulan, then Aladdin. I got to tell you, these movies are very popular, dude. I thought that people would be like, this is just the same thing as the animation, whatever. Dude, Beauty and the Beast, the last Beauty and the Beast, man, holy shit, that did so much business. We kind of all looked at each other and went, why would we need a remodel? We just sold out a 400-seat house. So, you know what I'm saying? It's to the point now where it's Disney has a gold mine right here. And people aren't going to stop coming. I mean, think about this. There's going to be another Toy Story. Where's the live Toy Story? Don't tell me that I'm thinking about it.
Well, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure somewhere in some office there's a 100-year plan.
Oh, yeah.
There's a 50-year plan. Now, between official Disney and the Disney offshoots, next year you're going to have, and I might miss one, you're going to have Captain Marvel under Marvel. Yep. You're going to have Infinity War.
Yep.
Part 4, Avengers 4 Infinity War or whatever. I believe it's going to be called Avengers 4 Endgame, but it's basically Infinity War Part 2.
Right.
You're going to have Lion King. You're going to have Toy Story 4. you're going to have the live action Aladdin, and then you're going to have Star Wars Episode 9, the fucking ending of the saga, or whatever the fuck they're going to call it,
I'm sure they're going to start a whole new trilogy after that.
I mean, but I'm saying is that's the last of the, of the Skywalker saga,
Yeah.
So, Disney, it's like, what I named 6 movies right there, or maybe 8, whatever, and so that's like one every other month.
Yeah.
And all of those movies are aiming, none of these are like, the lowest one, if you want to even say it, is probably going to be Captain Marvel, and that's nothing to sneeze at. You know what I'm saying? Like even Captain Marvel, which is going to be touted as Marvel's first female,
so well.
Oh yeah, no, and it looks good. Yeah. What I'm saying is that the funny thing is that that's the runt of the litter, and even that's going to do fucking fantastic. Yeah. So it just blows my mind that like Disney is just fucking just. Backing up the bricks. And here's my deal is what you mentioned. I don't know about the story about every 10 years remaking the movies, but now if you remember, I don't know if you remember, like growing up, Disney would on purpose, they would put a movie out on VHS and DVD, and then they would put it quote unquote in the vault.
Yes.
And you wanted you couldn't buy a new copy of that movie for about 10 years, 10, 15. They put out these movies in almost like a cycle. So I think what they did was they're like, okay, you know what, we have we have our Cinderellas and we have our Snow Whites and we have all these other movies. But I think this is their new version of the cycle where they're like, okay, what if had they followed the old model, they would have been they would have been re-releasing Lion King on Blu-ray now, like the original animated one about 15 years later. And they're like, you know what? Now that the technology is caught up to the point where we can do this for real, the cycle will be, okay, it's going to be a whole new movie, a retelling of the movie, but now with photorealistic animation.
Well, if you've noticed, what they do is they play this game called Remastered. So they'll do the movie, and then 10 years later, get the remastered version of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, Disney's not stupid. They know what they have. They're not gonna not do something to make money,
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that. I mean, so that came out. There's Netflix has been announcing a lot of fucking anime shit. Go ahead.
No, and that's right in my notes. I had
Evangelion is coming to. It's the TV series. There's a difference between the TV series and the movies, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That was on Adult Swim years and years and years ago. I believe
that's a widely loved.
Oh yeah.
What I'm saying, for people, like if you like giant robots and spaceships, space battles and like shit that's like with the mythology of thousands of years apart and ongoing fucking galactic battles and all this shit, and mind you, I'll be honest with you, I never got into Neon Genesis Evangelion or whatever, but all my friends that have gotten into it, to them this is their Star Wars.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
This is their
It's nice to see that that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They announced also that there's going to be a live action Cowboy Bebop. Which the creator is supposed to be involved with as well.
Yeah, that's the one that people kind of I don't know, but Netflix has been fucking killing it, man.
Netflix has been having these what I call ebbs and flows where they get stuff and then it's kind of silent and then they get stuff. One of the things that I've always worried about is that they don't play enough commercials. They don't play any commercials, so it kind of hurts them in the long run.
Yeah.
But with them kind of and we've been talking about this for a while, for example, with Bojack Horseman, their original show that they had on there, Comedy Central came in and bought that, so now it's playing on Comedy Central as well. It looks like Netflix is starting to go out there and say, hey, TV networks, do you want this series? With Voltron coming to the end, I am praying to God that they go to Adult Swim and go, hey, do you want to put this on Toonami? And they're like, absolutely. So I just hope that Netflix doesn't charge like an arm and a leg for this shit. Because it's
if they're smart, what they'll do is they'll go to Comedy Central. I mean, I don't know the deal, but what I would do is go, okay, Bojack Horseman, but only seasons 1 through 3 or 1 through 4 or whatever. Because right now they're like on season 5. What I would do is then release season 6 the same time seasons 1 through 3 go to Comedy Central. And then of course advertise the shit out of it during commercials. Like, you want to see more of this? Then catch up the new season now on Netflix. Pay for it now, whatever. And one thing, just not to cut you off, but the other announcement was Ultraman.
Yes.
And they've actually released footage of that. Like
it looks really good.
Yeah. And and of course it was updated. And so so far Voltron's been good. She-Ra's been good. Not that She-Ra's anime, but I'm just saying, it's like from stuff that existed in the past.
I wonder if they're going to try to do He-Man too. But I got to tell you, like, the remake they made of He-Man is going to be hard to beat, honestly. Like, because the remake they made was really good. It actually played on Toonami back in the day. I want to go buy the complete series on Blu-ray because, dude, it is a really good fucking series, and it is available. Like, I really hope that does show up, at least in that form, on Netflix. They announced, well, for Adult Swim and actually Crunchyroll's part, they announced today that they're going to do a Blade Runner series. If it's done right, that's oh shit. If it's an anime, then and it's the same guy doing that did. I believe it's the same guy. It's the same guy that did Cowboy Bebop. He's going to be involved in it. And Jason DeMarco loves fucking Blade Runner, so damn well it's going to be done right. So this is looking it's looking pretty good. This is the first of 3 shows that Toonami is currently working on as original shows for their network. So it's going to be very interesting to see where those go. We won't go too much into that, but it's looking really good for nerds. And then obviously Young Justice had a trailer. It showed up yesterday or maybe a couple days ago.
There was a teaser one about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we put that up on Toonami.
It was a teaser one, but that was just it was just like a picture of the globe, and it said Young Justice, blah blah blah, whatever. Yeah. But now they're showing it, and they kind of kept the style, but I like that it kind of it almost looks better than it has in the past.
Yeah, it looks good. It does look good, and I'm kind of hoping they retain all of the people that were voicing it before. I don't know if the guy that played Batman before will do it, but I thought he should be the one that replaces Kevin Conroy, because I think he does a really good voice. I know that in the movies, oh god, I can't even think of the guy's name off the top of my head that does Batman in the movies now, the animated movies.
We interviewed him too.
Yeah, we interviewed him too. I actually put that up as a thing here. Jason O'Mara. That's who it is. So
Jason O'Mara.
Yeah. By the way, excuse me if you heard my computer make a noise. It will do that. Unfortunately, it's a live stream, so if I go away from the live stream, it may make noise. So.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, there's a lot of nerdy shit coming, man. Like I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Sword Art Online, we can talk about that too because that's not on Toonami. It's Gun Gale Online. It's like a spin-off series from the original. The English dub is actually going to Netflix. It's going to Netflix and Hulu. Pissed off a lot of us in the Toonami community, but whatever. So, it's a very exciting time for anime. I think that it's a very exciting time to be a nerd, honestly, because there's a lot of nerdy shit coming out. So, it's going to be interesting to see how all this comes out. Honestly, I've been kind of behind the scenes thinking of myself sitting here going, I need to create some kind of series because holy shit, dude, I have some ideas. I have a really good idea. But, I got to kind of formulate it myself and see where it goes. And then I would probably, there's a studio that I have in mind that I would probably go to and see what they think. So What were you gonna say, Chris?
Yeah, no, I was gonna no, because I mean, all right, because it's funny. I just so happened the other day. I did not know that they had a live action Full Metal Alchemist.
They do.
On Netflix.
It's a movie. Yes.
Oh, it's a movie. Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then they had the live action Death Note, which, if I remember correctly, didn't get the greatest response.
So,
but no one like hated it. They would some people were just like, it's okay, and then like you know like.
Ironically, the guy that does the voice of I can't think of the character's name, but the creature that kills people when you put a note in. The guy that used to do that was actually the original voice of Vegeta. So I was kind of hoping that they would bring him back, but they used, I think, who's the guy that played Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man there?
Willem Dafoe?
Yes, I think he's the one that does the voice, and he does a really good job, honestly. I've seen scenes with him doing it, and I'm just like, all right, this works. Like, there are some high-paid stars, dude, that I wish would do some anime shit. Like, I wish... When I heard The Rock in the first episode of Transformers, what was the name of it? Transformers,
Robots in Disguise?
No, the one that was on, Hasbro's channel. It'll come to me. But he was one of the Transformers in the first episode, and I'm sitting there going, dude, why are you not doing more animation? Like, I know the man's busy doing fucking movies, but I guarantee you, dude, like, even he said that these voice actors and actresses go through a lot of fucking work to do this shit.
Well, I mean, it's the only, like, here, let me just put a counterpoint to that, especially that, like, your other podcast, Paul, To Not Be Faithful, where you spend a lot of time when you get interviews with other live action, there's a lot of good, talented people in the industry that are looking for work. The Rock doesn't need another fucking job.
Okay, no. Listen. Like, what I'm saying is,
don't get me wrong. I like The Rock. I don't want to take anything away from him.
Let me just.
But I'm just saying is that there's good people who need to pay their fucking bills.
Right.
The Rock doesn't need another pool.
I get it. No. I know. What I'm trying to say is like, I would like to see The Rock do an anime series. And the only reason I want to see that is because I think he would do a really good job. And I would love to see that just once. He doesn't have to do 50 different ones and take meals out of people's mouths. But, Hey, and think about this. Think about this, too.
You're welcome.
Shut up. You're welcome. Bang Zoom does a lot of shit for some TV shows and that, sound-wise. They're a company that dubs a lot of anime in California. Dude, perfect. He's right there. Wonderful. You know what I mean? So I'm just putting that out there. But anyways, before we get out of here, is there anything else you wanted to talk about real quick?
Well, there was rumors about this, but it's been officially confirmed that Jordan Peele is going to be producing a sequel / reboot of the horror classic Candyman. Which I think with him behind it, it's going to be fucking awesome. All right. And once again, this is, only recently that I started working that I have access to actually Netflix and Hulu, but the other streaming services out there that are quote unquote free or at least, with ads, there's one out there called Canopy with a K, Kanopy.
Yeah.
Canopy has just released a bunch of movies from the A24 studios, and the A24 studios, they're like a relatively new company, but they've put out like movies like Lady Bird, that was a big deal last year. The Disaster Artist, that was a big deal last year. Ex Machina, which I really dug. Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe. I'm just looking at it right now. I'm just mentioning the ones that I give a shit about. Midnight, which won the Oscar or whatever. So it's one of those. Not Midnight. Excuse me, Moonlight. So if you're if you're into those, if this is your kind of thing, you can watch these movies for free. On Canopy, which back before I got my Netflix, before I had Netflix and Hulu, I already have my my Canopy subscription. And once again, it's free. I think it's with advertising, but shit, fuck it, it's advertising. What else? Did a little Black Friday shopping. I didn't go crazy like I did last year because right now money's a little tight. But fucking Walmart had $28 tablets. Android tablets. So my daughter, the one that she had in her mom's house, she totally smashed. Got broken or whatever. Then the one in my house has been really crapping up, but that was like 3 or 4 years old. So it was definitely time for an upgrade. So I couldn't give that up. They had like 32 gig thumb drives for $5. This is Walmart. So I went out, I bought a couple things on Black Friday. Didn't go crazy. I haven't watched yet, but I got Super Troopers 2, Deadpool 2, and then they had all 3 seasons of Ash versus the Evil Dead, which usually goes for $30 for $10. 3 seasons.
Wonderful.
And yeah, so like I said, I didn't go crazy, but this shit like that makes me happy. On Cyber Monday, I couldn't find one good deal on Cyber Monday. Now, and once again, not that I have money.
I found a deal, and I think it was going all weekend. Hulu was like 99 cents.
Now, I saw what you put it, but I didn't see that deal. I went to the Hulu site, and I mean, once again, I already have my setup, so
that's probably what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
So, yeah.
And Chris is going into traffic
now. Also, I'm just putting this out there. Like, I put out a second album of music. I've been experimenting with music, and about 3 months ago, I say an album. It's 72 minutes worth of music. Because back in the day when people bought CDs, like you could get 72 minutes worth of audio on a CD. So I'm like, okay, once it hits 72 minutes. It's an album.
Is it free music? Like, say if somebody okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally free.
What I would do if I were you, and I don't know if you've already done this, because I've seen that your stuff is on SoundCloud. You should just do a Bandcamp.
Yeah,
and then people can actually donate to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where like right now it's stuff that I'm doing for fun. Pretty much everything this is all stuff that is like. It's 3:00 in the morning and I can't go to sleep, and I've been experimenting with music, and it's not traditional music and stuff like that, but it's one of those deals where like I'm proud of it. I really am. Like, and I've done this podcast for years, and I've written my 2 books and shit like that, but here I am. and it's electronic music, so I'm kind of doing it by myself. I don't have to rely on anybody but myself, but I'm kind of proud of it. And I put out these 2 albums. I already have like 6 tracks for the next thing that I'm going to put out, and once again, it's not like it's groundbreaking stuff. It's very much in the vein of like a 9 Inch Nails, but like 9 Inch Nails, they put out this album about 10 years ago called Ghosts, and it was like 40 tracks, and it's all like this weird, odd sounding ambient music or whatever. So, if you want to look it up, and it's the name I go by like on all my fucking social medias, it's XLNYC. XL is an extra large, NYC. So you could just go on SoundCloud and just look up XLNYC. Or if you want to go on my Facebook page, you can find it and find the links to it there. And so there's 2 albums. There's the first album called Newman, like Newmen. And then my second album is called Technonomicon, like a Technonomicon. So once again, that's kind of it's a lot of letters. So just look up XLNYC, and once again, it's not the greatest shit in the world, but I mean, I'm kind of proud of it, and I would like to see more downloads. So if you guys check it out, I agree. And once again, it's free fucking music. I mean, just play it and just let the fucking browser play while you go and take a shit and take a bath or whatever. Yeah, I just want to get some downloads.
I think we're pretty much at the time because I need to go take a shower here.
Okay. And it's just also just real quick, like, all right, now that it is officially Christmas season, now that Santa has gone down his float, I don't want to fucking hear about Krampus. I'm tired of fucking people like they bring up Krampus like it's some new shit. Hey, did you hear about the bad Santa Claus? It's Krampus. I'm tired of fucking hearing about Krampus. I'm tired of hearing about how Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Okay, yes, we get it. Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Every year, these guys who bring up this shit like it's some new shit. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. And then we're gonna see all the bullshit Elf on the Shelf memes where they have Elf on the Shelf tied up and looks like he's being tortured and they're stabbed and it's like, this shit's, you lame fucking basic motherfuckers keep posting the same shit every year, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. Yeah. So enough with the Krampus, enough with the fucking Die Hard's a Christmas movie, and enough with the fucking Elf on the Shelf. All right, that's it. I started on a mad note, and I'll leave on a mad note. And I'm mad, or whatever.
All right.
Let's wrap it up.
That's what she
said. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net where you can find all things show related. You can find links to our iTunes our iTunes page, or if you have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod, you can download us and subscribe to us. You can subscribe to us there. If you don't have an iPhone, an iPad, or iPod, you can find links to the Stitcher app, STITCHER. You can put it on the listen later option, the download offline. So when you're downloading it in your Wi-Fi and download it to your phone or whatever device you use, so download it to your $28 tablet you got at Walmart, and then listen to it later so you're not killing your data, you're not killing your battery. You can go directly to our hosting site and check out our SoundCloud. Just go on SoundCloud and search for Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm going to be starting to selling shit on eBay because I need money. But I'm thinking about selling stuff on eBay and then also doing like a Patreon. Or like maybe like, you know, if you donate to the show, maybe I'll send you something from my collection or something. Yeah, I need to. Plus, I need to.
We can have you on the podcast. You can pick a topic. You know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll work out something, but we'll make it worth your while to donate.
We'll call it Chris's Poor Fund.
Yeah. Yeah, because right now I'm still not working full time. Yeah. But it's things are working in the works, and I'm working more hours than I was before, and hopefully I'll be working 6 hours a day soon. But right now we're only working 4 hours a day. But things are okay right now. I'm still alive. But we want your money. We need your money. But if you can't give us a dime, you can just share us on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/Two Strangers One Podcast, all spelled out. Share and like our episode. We got some new likes this week. That's pretty cool. So people have been listening, and thank you. Share and like this episode. Share and like the page. If you want to reach out to us, you can write to us. And unfortunately, we didn't get any Oscar letter this week, but you can write to us. And let me tell you, one day soon, like I want to learn about Oscar. You know what I'm saying? He's been bashing us for fucking years.
Yeah, like, I want to meet this motherfucker.
I want to see what Oscar's life is really like. I want to see where all this, he sits here and fucking judges us and critiques us. I'd like to see where this is all coming from. So one day, Oscar, I'm gonna request that you reveal yourself, so we can look into your life and see how wonderful things are going on for you, you motherfucker. No, so if you want to write us, you can write us just like Oscar does it.
The live broadcast right now.
Two Strangers One Podcast at gmail.com. Once again, all spelled out. Two Strangers One Podcast at gmail.com. And as of today, I made the first steps on getting our Twitter back up and running. So I appealed to the suspension. I kept fucking neglecting it because I got so many other things on my mind. And then they sent me an email saying, we're confirming if this is your email address. Yes, this is my email address. Get the fucking Twitter back up and running. So if you want to follow us, hopefully soon we'll be back up and running, and we'll be at Stranger Podcast. And of course you can go to YouTube. I actually uploaded a Stranger vlog the other day, and it was from my fucking New York Comic-Con haul from last year. And I had to put that up because I can't put up this year's until I put up last year's. But last year's, the quality wasn't that great. And I kept dragging my feet on uploading it. And I was like, fuck it. So I just put it out just a couple days ago. But that's so I can upload the one from this year when I eventually get around to recording it. So there is technically a new Stranger vlog up. But you can go on YouTube and search for Two Strangers One Podcast. You can find my Stranger vlogs. You can find my audiobook, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road. You can listen to that, which that has music that I was when I first started experimenting with electronic music. If you listen to my book, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, you can hear the music in the background. And it was very simple shit. It's not as good as the stuff that I put out now. But even the stuff I put out now, I know I can do better. it's just sort of like I'm sort of just getting used to the process and stuff like that. But if you want to hear other versions of my music, you could also hear it on my audiobook, Odd I See It Tell from the Road. All the chapters are available on Facebook. On YouTube, and you could also, if for the episodes that aren't on SoundCloud, you could go back and listen to 6 fucking years of Two Strangers One Podcast. Thank you for yawning right into the microphone. I'm pretty sure our audience loves that. I can't think of anything else. I acquiesce the floor to you, sir.
You sure?
Positive? Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Paul Pascrillo, as usual. You can listen to me on the other podcast, the Tsunami Faithful Podcast, which is available on every single podcast app, including Spotify. See, you're not on Spotify. Whatever. It's very hard to get on Spotify. And if you're part of our Discord, you can just at Paul Pascrillo on the Discord, the Tsunami Faithful Discord. And if you want to email me like Oscar did, which was I was surprised that came out of nowhere. This was a while ago. Paul Pascrillo at TsunamiFaithful.com. So that's how you can email me.
All right. Well, we certainly hope you guys enjoyed listening and had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
Don't be a stranger.
Peace. We're out.
Bye. You should be fapping.
Especially because Chris needs some.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne? Smells good to me.
But
look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia is spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea, man. Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show. I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. And if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
yeah.
Insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know, you're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his comic books, heavy metal, video games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could saw them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne right now.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonePodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.